Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us for our newest edition of our video announcements here at Trinity. Thank you for spending a few minutes with us this morning. We have a very special guest, Debbie Woodruff, who is a member here of the congregation, but also is a co-facilitator of an important group we have here. But before we jump into that, Debbie, welcome.
Thank you.
Could you tell us a little bit about yourself and the group you're involved with and how that came to be?
All right. Well, thank you for having me. And I appreciate the opportunity always to talk about all things Alzheimer's Association. My journey began with my mother in approximately 2011, maybe, thereabouts. My mother was formally diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease, and she progressed to the point where in 2014, she did have to go into a facility. And that's when I became a member of the support group that I co-facilitate today. I was totally unaware that we even had a support group here at Trinity English until in a crisis situation, I phoned the 1-800 number for the Alzheimer's Association and was sent a package of information and discovered a flyer in that package that listed Trinity English as a support group site. So I began attending that support group, and she passed in 2017, but I continued to come to the support group because I had built a bond of friendship, and we kind of call it our people, that they understood. They knew what I was going through. I understood what they were going through. And so I've continued to come to that support group. And right around 2021, I started co-facilitating the support group. So I kind of branched out when I retired. We meet on the second Thursday of every month at 10 o'clock, and we meet for about an hour and a half, give or take, here at Trinity English. You do not have to be a member of Trinity English, though. I want to emphasize that. We talk about all kinds of things. We had a brand new person this morning join us. She's supporting or caring for her husband. He does not have Alzheimer's. He has some form of dementia, but does not have specifically Alzheimer's. So that's another thing. You do not have to be caring for someone that has Alzheimer's solely. There are over 120 different types of dementia. But Alzheimer's is the most prevalent.
Sure.
So that's why it's sponsored by the Alzheimer's Association.
How prevalent is Alzheimer's and those 120?
That's a great question. The most recent statistics that were released in March of this year, there are over 7 million citizens of the United States that are suffering with some form of Alzheimer's or dementia today. That equates to over 11 million caregivers. So it's an astounding amount of individuals that are impacted with Alzheimer's or some type of dementia.
Sure. That's a staggering number. How would somebody know when is a good time, a right time, an appropriate time to check out your meeting? I know some people might think they have to hit a certain benchmark.
Yeah, and we encourage people to join us earlier than later.
Okay.
We did have an individual that joined us last month that quite frankly, that was a concern of hers, that she wasn't ready yet. Her husband wasn't at the point where she really needed to get more information or tips on caregiving. And after about 5 or 10 minutes, she made the comment that, I'm so glad I came because it is time. It's never, we operate under the assumption that it's never too early.
Okay.
once you start seeing some signs of cognitive decline, and there is a difference between just forgetfulness. We are all, as we age, we all become a little less.
True.
We have the less capacity to remember, and there's things that cause us to have that situation: stress, illness, just too many things on our plate that could cause us to become distracted and forgetful. So there is a definite difference between forgetfulness and cognitive impairment. And so once you do, and the Alzheimer's Association is big on the number 10.
Okay.
There are 10 warning signs
Really?
for Alzheimer's or dementia. There's 10 healthy habits that you can do to help maybe ward off
Okay.
some of the early symptoms that you can do for what's good for your brain,
Okay.
or I should say, what's good for your heart
Okay.
is good for your brain.
Okay.
And so those things that you should do to keep your heart healthy
Okay.
are things that you can do to keep your brain healthy, like exercise
Sure.
and diet and being out in a community environment, getting out and doing things, learning new things on a daily basis. So, and then we have what we call the 10 absolutes, and those are the 10 things that we encourage you not to do.
Oh.
So, for instance, not correcting someone that has Alzheimer's or dementia, it only tends to frustrate the person.
Okay.
Rather than, what makes as long as they're not doing something that would be,
Of course, harmful.
harmful to themselves or whatever. What makes the difference if they say the sky is green and you know that it's blue, but what makes the difference if maybe to them, because they have a color impairment, maybe
Sure.
it is green.
Okay.
So
Okay.
anyway,
Wow. What difference does it make for people who have something like this support group to help them?
it makes a world of difference. It made a world of difference for me. I'm starting to get a little verklempt, as they would say, but it makes a world of difference. One of the ladies was just commenting to the new person that joined us today that this is so worthwhile to come and have a group that understands what you're going through, that can maybe give you some suggestions or just listen to you and help you shed a tear. It's a community, a kindred spirit community, unfortunately, but it's like any other support group, that it's for any issue, it's helpful to have someone who understands what you're going through.
Sure.
And is able to give you that little hug or touch. It means the world.
Absolutely. If people had any questions or concerns, would they be able to talk with you about that?
Absolutely. And I would encourage anyone that does want to find out more about the support group or the Alzheimer's Association in general, if they want to get in touch with you.
Okay.
And then you can pass that information along to me. Or I'm okay with you giving out my phone number directly to them if they would be interested or have questions. It's important that we get more and more people aware. June is kind of a milestone month for the Alzheimer's Association. One of our biggest fundraisers happens on the summer solstice, which is, we call it the longest day. So this year it is June the 20th, I believe, that Saturday. Part of the reason behind that is the fact that time of day, sunlight, does affect Alzheimer's patients. There is a phase of what's called sundowner's disease that's associated with dementia. And so we celebrate and we fundraise for the Alzheimer's Association on the longest day. And then our second biggest fundraiser is obviously in October when we have the Alzheimer's Walk. And that will be the first Saturday in October. I believe it's October the 4th at Parkview Field. So I would encourage you to form a team or sponsor someone for Alzheimer's research. We were very successful last year with our legislation that was able to be passed. That's one of my other hats that I wear, is I'm an advocate for the Alzheimer's Association. And so we just recently had our forum in DC this past Tuesday, where we try to speak with all the legislators from the state of Indiana. There were over 1,100 advocates that attended the forum. And so anyway, we were able to get legislation passed last year. Now we're trying to get it funded because it wasn't funded. But anyway, it's important that we raise funds to support Alzheimer's research and development for treatments. We don't have a cure, but we're working towards it. But for treatments, diagnosis, and so forth.
Sure. Debbie, thank you. Thank you for your passion, for your time, for your advocacy, for your care for this important and very common condition that affects probably just about every family if we think about it.
For the most part, it's hard to find. Unfortunately, it's hard to find someone who hasn't been touched by some form of dementia.
Excellent. Debbie, thank you so much for spending some time with us, for speaking to the congregation. Again, if you have any questions or things Debbie can help you with, you can call the church. We will make sure that she gets your contact information, or if you happen to attend Trinity, you can find her on a Sunday morning. Debbie, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
One other announcement for Trinity folks, a slightly different way to help in the community. On Friday, July 11th, Trinity will be hosting a blood drive with the American Red Cross from 9 to 1 o'clock. At some point this week, you will be able to start signing up for your preferred time slot, and this is open to anyone from Trinity and anybody in the community. So obviously, the more blood we can collect, the more folks we can help. So you can go ahead and mark that down, take a look for it, and have a blessed week, everybody. Bye.